Alright, now that the kids are back into school, I'm finally starting to catch up with everything. And on top of that, both of them are going for a full 6 hours a day instead of half day here, full day there, which is awesome. That means I get 6 hours a day to get stuff done instead of 2. So, this weekly update, I think this is update number 42. Let's see what we got on the list. It's another big one. Kind of skipped a week here, but we got 19 things to cover. 1, insurer of Tesla owner who crashed vehicle, I believe it was the Model X, while autopilot was active, may sue Tesla, or in other words, trying to pass responsibility onto Tesla instead of the owner of 10, as usual, taking responsibility. Hackers used radio emitters, light and sound emitting tools to fool autopilot. Tesla's new design for its stores will be coming very soon. Tesla goes to Supreme Court against Utah for direct sales ban. Tesla has launched, skeeters are out. Tesla has launched P100D S and X with up to 315 miles of range, 0 to 60 in as little as 2.5 seconds for the Model S and 2.9 for the Model X, with upgrades available for P90D owners. If you haven't taken vehicle delivery, it's an additional 10 grand to upgrade to the P100D. If you have already a P100D, it is $20,000 to upgrade to the P100D battery. They cite recycling costs of the battery, which I'm not sure why they couldn't just test and certify, refurbish the batteries for use in warranty exchanges or in of some sort, or maybe even offer the 90 batteries as upgrades to people who have 85s, 70s, 60s, so on and so forth. But that's just my opinion. Tesla has now launched the Model S and X in South Korea, which was met with open arms and very long awaited. Model X hit by GMC Yukon. All passengers in the Model X were unharmed, including the little doggy. The GMC Yukon driver had ran a red light. Model S owner thanks Tesla for such a safe car and can't wait until his replacement comes. Solar City acquisition by Tesla has been approved by the FTC. Tesla disables proximity sensors on Falcon Wing doors on Model S's. They now no longer sense and stop if your hand is in the door frame. So as the door is coming down, before it would sense, although not always perfectly, but it would sense that your hand or fingers are on the door frame and stop the door from crushing your fingers. Since they couldn't get that working correctly, apparently, they just decided to turn it off altogether. Hopefully that will be back soon. Be hard for Tesla drivers to drive their vehicles if they are missing their digits. P100D battery is using a slightly different design and layout. Apparently the layout, while functional, was not the most optimal from the old 60s and 85s and 90s and 70s. So now they are using a optimized design in order to maximize or get more cells into it. The cells are the same as the current 75s and 100s, or excuse me, 90s. Instead of having the cooling tubes wrapped around each cell, like it is on the previous gen battery packs, or all of them, other than the 100Ds, it is now using fins between the cells and a aluminum plate underneath the cells that is fed with the coolant. And coolant, I guess. Yeah, I have no better way of putting it. which is supposed to dissipate heat just as well and still cut down on wasted space. Time will tell if it will do as good of a job. Hopefully, we'll be able to see how that works out. Personally, though, it's not the cooling system, or in terms of batteries heating up. Now, it's great for optimizing design, but I have a feeling that now the shortfall is going to be in the cooling system of the Model S and X. The compressor and so on and so forth. The car can't dissipate the heat as fast as the cells can generate them on charging. So it'll be curious to see if the 100s do charge faster due to more cells, or possibly it can maintain a slightly lower but yet still high charge rate for a longer period of time. And since it would be a lower charge rate per cell, possibly it will be able to not generate as much heat, since it doesn't, I mean, it goes up exponentially once you hit a certain point. As I have found, if I plug in with a battery at 0%, it will be at a lower, it will start off fast, but it will start tapering the speed due to heat buildup in the battery pack before, at say maybe 40 or 50%. Whereas if I plug in at 40 or 50%, I'll be able to maintain over 100 kilowatt up to about 60%. So, which would lead me to believe that it's the heat is what's causing the taper instead of a full battery at that point. So it seems like we finally hit maybe the limitations of the Model S cooling system. Now, I'll be able to test that a little more this coming fall and winter when we have cooler nights, so it will be able to supplement the air conditioning system on the vehicle. Now, the reason why I couldn't test that per se before was because when I first got my 90D, the charge rate actually was considerably slower than it is now, and after a series of firmware updates, which were probably Tesla testing out degradation at different rates over time, and they actually bumped it up, so now I can technically maintain over 100 kilowatt charge rate up to about 60% before it starts dropping to about 90 and then down to 80 once we hit about 70% there. So that'll be coming soon. Where was I? New images of the Model 3 interior leaked. Personally, I'm feeling a little uneasy yet about no dash. One thing about the Model 3 as well, it needs to be a leap into the future. It still has to maintain a lot of the familiarity that people have. If you make the changes too significant, you may lose some converts. Just can't adapt as well to the feel of something. Well, not only is it completely new in terms of how it drives, but completely new in terms of the entire cockpit feel. Whereas the Model S and X still maintain that traditional sense of driving controls, I don't know the best way of putting it, while still providing the most awesome driving experience. There's a new payment system leaked about the supercharging network. And it looks like Tesla will have soon an option to pay by kilowatt or prepay by kilowatt hour for superchargers, instead of having to purchase or roll the cost into the vehicle. So that right now they're setting aside about $2,000 per vehicle to go towards the supercharging network and supercharging. And it looks like they're working on a way to unbundle that, especially for the Model 3 launch coming, and make it a pay-as-you-go. It's great for those that really don't road trip or travel too far too often, or that might only use a supercharger once or twice a year. Or maybe, you know, you got your Model S or X with your unlimited supercharging use as a primary, and then you have a Model 3 as a secondary vehicle for a spouse or a child. So when you do your road trips, you don't need supercharging. You just take the other vehicle. Let's see. Tesla recently requested an extension for them to provide autopilot crash data to the NHTSA on the autopilot fatality accident. So not too much more on that. Ludicrous options have disappeared from the 90Ds or P90Ds on the Tesla website, and now only available on P100Ds. Photos of Will.i.am's custom from Black Eyed Peas, I think, custom Model S have surfaced while outside a Wolfgang Puck restaurant. It is wider, uglier, and has fake air vents. And personally, you know, this is me, to each their own. If that's what he enjoys, that's what he enjoys. It's his car, he can do what he wants. But personally, it's butt ugly. He has butchered that vehicle, or had it butchered for him. Tesla now opens largest charging station in the world, or high-speed DC fast-paced charging in Norway. They have 20 supercharging stalls, and I had thought Mountain View, California, by Google and the Computer History Museum had 20. I thought I counted that last year. I'll have to look on my supercharger travel video, which I did on my road trip last year, where I also showed the liquid cooling of the liquid cooled superchargers, and recount. But in terms of actual largest charging location, the MGM Grand in Detroit had over 20 J1772s, I believe. And of course they were all taken by plug-in hybrids who were parked there all effing day, which were probably casino hotel employees getting their free juice. So is it the largest charging station in the world Tesla built? I don't think so, but it's the largest fast charging station in the world, which is awesome. Elon's Gigafactory robot apparently now plays and moves to the theme song of Indiana Jones. Check out that article and more on InsideEVs.com, and they also have the video up on that. P100DL Model X is now faster than a Lamborghini. It does 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Robot supplier for Tesla says they are on track to meet the robot demands for the beginning of the Model 3 production launch. And there should be no delays. Awesome. And even more awesome if those play some more Indiana Jones theme songs, or who knows. But all I can say is I really want one of those cute little robots that they had at the Gigafactory that came up to me and said, "Hello, welcome to Tesla," and then went off to grab a tray of batteries and bring it on down to an employee somewhere else in the factory. Awesome. Let's see. That is it for the weekly update, other than I'll be reviewing, putting online soon, a new product, a custom designed dash cam specifically for the Model S, and seamless integration. And as well as when I was in Reno, I was with a great group of people, and we were representing, I think, 9 different countries. I think we had USA, Canada, Germany, Sweden, Norway, and a couple other I can't remember offhand. And I think Australia, if I'm remembering correctly. And when we were having breakfast, we put together basically a letter to Elon. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to complete this with our group of people. But our plan had been to go to the Gigafactory pre-factory party, and then we were going to sit down and record the letter to Elon. And we were all, this is something that, it's not just from me. I mean, we all put in and contributed to this letter to Elon, and we wanted to record it at the pre-Gigafactory party, but we all got to the pre-Gigafactory party and realized it wasn't just going to be 50 or 100 people, it was 1,000 people. Yeah, it was really, really crazy, and we never got a chance to do it. So I have a couple pictures of the group that we were with all together at breakfast that day, so I will be recording this next and having it, you know, I'll have a picture over here, down here somewhere of the group. And this is going to be our letter to Elon, and basically we represent a diverse group of people from all over the world, and we put together a list of basically what we believe would be must-haves for the Tesla vehicles, and another list of nice-to-haves. And you know, one voice is small, but when you put together a lot of people, we're hoping that this voice is going to be larger. I'm not going to take other outside requests for this, as I want this to be from the group of myself, and the group of people that were attending the Gigafactory party. A lot of different people, a lot of very smart people, and a lot of people there that put a lot of miles on their Tesla vehicles. And this is from the heart stuff. Some of it's a little more on the loony laughter side, but there was some thought into this from some people. And I refined it a little bit and expounded on some things. So that's it for this weekly update. Salute!